thank you. Just indulge me for a few minutes, and then we'll get to the documentary. So, thank you all for coming tonight. It's an honor for me to introduce this film to all of you this evening. With all things that are worthwhile, they very rarely get made by just one person, and in fact, that's the case with this film. And I'd like to thank some people who supported this film or documentary, and the list is short but important. So thank you, Mr. Shimada, Mike Evans, and the rest of Kikkoman for your partnership this year and for the 12 years preceding this year. Thank you, Lucy Walker, who directed the film and is not here tonight, but put her heart and soul into it. Thank you to our wonderful friends and partners at Ketchum. You're wonderful. We're blessed to partner with you, and it's quite special for all of us at Draft FCB, so thank you. And thank you, Tony Vasquez and Colin McCrae, who are not only my partners running Draft FCB, but also the creative masterminds behind this idea. Thank you so much for your partnership and your idea. The story of Kikkoman is quite remarkable. One of the oldest brands on the face of the earth, which alone is quite remarkable. A brand started by a woman, which is remarkable and wonderful, over 300 years ago. The story is really best told by the movie itself, but there are some things that I think are worthwhile pointing out, because it reflects values that obviously started many, many, many years ago, but I think have never been more evergreen, never been more relevant to today. And I see it as though there are 4 values that are worth noting briefly. One is to be authentic, which of course is a wonderful human trait, but also one of the characteristics of what you're going to see. The goal of this film was not to manufacture anything. The goal of the film was to get out of the way of a real story and tell it authentically without doiling it up. Just tell it. The power of the film will come through. That's the power of authenticity. The second is to be distinguished. The very true fact is there maybe are a handful of brands in the history of the earth that have as rich, as deep, and as wonderful a ethos as this brand does, let alone that has stood the test of time. This is an extraordinarily distinguishing characteristic of the brand that needs to be noted. The third is to honor craftsmanship, and this is where I think it's just very personal for me, which is I'm envious. I will confess to all of you that one of my goals, having seen this film for 2013, is to be good at my craft, as Kikkoman is at theirs and has been for centuries. And then last but not least is to celebrate diversity. Diversity has become a bit of an abstraction, but underneath the film, there's a revelation, which is a very powerful way for it to come through. It wasn't the intention, it's a revelation, it just bubbled up. It was more powerful than anything. And the revelation is to be reminded that we have so much more in common than we might initially believe, or let ourselves believe, and that we're much better off working together than we are working apart, which, for obvious reasons, on this one Monday,